Should I
Danny the
take my
Pooh.
clothes off now or wait until
Well,
you start?
you already don't have pants on. We know that. That's how you always
But
record without
I
pants.
told you that in confidence, Dan.
I know, because I mean that's part of the magic. So if our listeners want to know, like, how are you guys so good at this podcast? For those three people that actually asked that question, we're so good at it because we don't wear pants. It's the no pants dance. So every time we do that, we like to be free and flowing, and that's we've learned as we've done 100 episodes of these things. We've learned that that's the magic to creating great podcasts.
We're flying by the seat of our non-pants. That's what we're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Seriously.
If there's one of the top three lessons I've learned in my life is that pants stifle creativity. It's a given fact, science.
Exactly. I'm sure Jesse Eisenberg quoted in Social Network or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But on that note, welcome back to Not a Strong Start, a podcast by filmmakers who talk movies, television, and do 100 episodes of podcasting. I'm your host, Danny the Pooh.
I am not your host. Better property. Better property. Better property.
And I'm, ooh, Mickey, you so fine.
Mhm.
See,
So
look how
fine you
fine he
blow my
is. He's
mind. Hey,
just,
Mickey.
look how
Yeah,
fine. Like she can't resist. She can't resist. She's Pepe Le Pewing the hell out of him right now.
she is. And
He's
he just like,
Oh,
taking it.
yeah.
whoa, he can't even take it.
Ugh.
Mm.
Whoa, what?
Whoa. Yes.
He's like, I guess so.
Exactly. So, with this being our 100th episode, I want to do a quick little reflection. Okay. So, we're not going to do a current event, but what is in your guys' opinion, what has been the best current event topic that we've done on the show?
I do remember one, and it was that during the filming of the Batman, it was revealed that Matt Reeves himself revealed that he had Paul Dano do 70 to 80 takes of his final
Oh, yes.
confrontation with the Batman. So imagine just sitting there and doing that many takes. So I remember we
Yes.
had good conversation on the director side, the advantages and disadvantages, but also on the actor side on what that can feel like, possible annoyances, but also the benefits from it. I kind of cheated. I have all our episode
Oh
structures right
no.
here on my computer. So I just picked a random episode and had a current event.
And that's the true magic of NASS. We just
Yeah,
lie and we make it up.
a little peek behind the curtain. Because if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Exactly. All right. So let me ask you guys a couple more questions. What was the best, Marie? What was the best episode that you enjoyed? Best episode topic that you were on our show?
Daniel, there's been some late to the games that have just been way too fun that we have to cut out like an hour of it because we're just like having too much fun. Though I enjoy every episode, you guys, but my favorite was the first episode I was on with you
The
guys. The
movie
first day we
awards. That
recorded.
was
It
fun.
was just first of
I was
all,
gonna say.
I met you guys then, which was life changing for me. I'm gonna get emotional, I'm gonna cry, whatever. And we did the whole kid o' lantern thing.
The ET.
I think that that was the moment where you guys were like, okay, I think she could be part of our family because
We
she
knew it right away.
understands the humor. Oh,
Because not only did
that
you
was my
play
favorite.
into it, I think didn't Marie invent that joke?
Yes.
Now, here's the next question I have for you guys. What was the best joke that I made on this entire show?
Still pending.
Yeah. That was Jose's best joke of the show. There's my answer. All right. So enough of that stuff. You guys ready to get into our main topic?
Let's do it. Let's do
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
For the
Uh,
100th time, let's get into our topic.
Yeah, so for this episode, we're going to be touching on public domain. The reason why we're doing this is because of Marie's shirt. Recently, as of January 1st of this year, that original Mickey, that black and white, like, what was it? Steamboat Willie, I
Mhm.
Steamboat.
think is what it was called, became public domain. So, meaning it's free use for anyone without permission of the original creator. So pretty much copyright laws is not protected at this point in time. And it took maybe 6 hours before we got our first announcement of projects. So we had a video game coming out already based on Mickey. We got a low budget horror movie coming out already. So there was no time wasted at all. and it made us think, hey, why don't we do an episode talking about exactly what led to this happening? And also, what are some of the big properties that are coming around the horizon that are going to be public domain? And what our thoughts are on the possible good aspects and negative aspects from it. So that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about today. With that being said, uh, what is public domain and like some of the laws around it? Basically, the way I think about it is like public domain is creative material, whether it's art, a creation of a character, of a cartoon, whatever it is, comic books, that all counts too. That is protected by intellectual property laws, such as copyright, trademark, things like that. Um, and then once it goes into public domain, it's no longer protected, and it's a free for all. Pretty much, the public owns it. Anyone can just be like, hey, I'm going to create a story with this or a movie or a video, and no one can say anything. No one can claim royalties. No one can try to sue you because the public owns it. At least that's the way I view it. Do you guys view it any differently or anything you want to add on? Dan?
It's basically like dibs don't account anymore. So, people are like, dibs, that's mine. Dibs
Yeah.
doesn't count anymore. So it's wide open. It becomes a woman of the night, let's say. Each of these intellectual properties is a very
Everybody gets a turn.
everybody gets a turn. Exactly. It's like the free sample when you go to Costco and everybody's like, oh, I could try that. You eat a little bit and you're just like, I don't like it. And you just toss it in the trash. That's basically what it is now.
With something going into public domain and being accessible
Mhm.
to
She's already
everyone
stressed.
to do whatever it is that they want to do, like what how do you view it? Is it a positive thing, a negative thing, a combo of both?
I think it's a combo of both. Um, the positive is that it gives other artists like creativity to use something that is like up above the character or something, and they're like, "Oh, I've had an idea about Steamboat." I think he said Steamboat Willie in the beginning, which I loved. Steamboat Mickey, and I can like now put him in like a horror movie. It's gonna be awesome, you know. Take like the innocence of that and mix it with brutality, and that duality is so awesome. So that's cool. And creativity, create.
Are you trying to create a suspenseful pause right now? Because it's working.
Artists to be creative with in that aspect is good, but I could see a negative aspect to being like, well, now there might be like an influx or an oversaturation of like Steamboat Mickey or like Winnie the Pooh or something. We're all gonna be like, no, it's too much. And just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it. But if it works out, then it could be awesome. But on the other hand, it's like maybe some of us don't want to see Steamboat Mickey. Usually it's I just find like taking like kids stuff and making it horror is a good contrast. But some people might be like, no, that I grew up on that. That's precious to me. But some people are like, yeah, I want to see them like slashing people up. Like that could be
That's
cool.
us three.
So yeah, even though I haven't seen the Blood and Honey movie, is that it? You heard it wasn't good.
I haven't
Yeah,
either.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and
They
Honey.
had
We
no
have part
chance.
two coming out this year, so
There you
Oh,
go. Well, you got to
okay.
binge watch them now, right? You got to watch part one in order to know what's happening in part
yeah.
two.
Next month, which you can find our Stay Tuned episode.
I think it's more positive than not because for those elitists that feel like I don't want to see them like this, like this. I don't care anymore. Things have been redone so much. We've seen rebrandings of products all the time. We see relaunching of movies. We see reboots. I'm so past the idea that things shouldn't be touched anymore that I can go back to the original if that's what it is. So the fact that we have a lot of independent creatives that can use IP, intellectual property, something that we can identify with, gives them a huge advantage towards being able to put something out that people can maybe watch on Tubi now. And it's like, oh, I'll give it a shot because it looks like this. I say that because I was with my brother the other day and he saw a movie on Tubi that says like Family Matters of Holidays or something like that. And it had Laura Winslow that was in it and the mom. And he's like, oh, is this connected to the movie? And I was like, no, it's not. He's like, I need to know. So we played it to see if the characters were named the characters in the show. Suffice to say, no, it wasn't. The movie was, yeah. But regardless, the fact that you're able to use something enticed them enough to hit play and waste 8 minutes of my life. because no, we did not
Minutes.
finish watching the movie. But because of that, you were able to actually get us to click it. So I think it's a good move. It gives, like what you said, Marie, it gives the independent artist an opportunity to use something, and how creative they get with it, it's really dependent on them. We know that they've done the transitions to horror movies all the time. There's gonna be something else. Like they're gonna be
Mm,
doing something else. So it's, I'm interested and fascinated. The only thing that makes me worried though is that they use stuff like Disney, like Mickey. Are they gonna use stuff that like a kid is gonna think it's Mickey and they're gonna click it and it's something terribly inappropriate for them? That's the part
yeah.
that makes me a little nervous.
That's true. I do see it just like you guys as both. Some of the positive is that it does allow people to get creative with a properties in ways that maybe has not been done before, because they may not have the restriction or the micromanaging that you might get when it's owned by a company, let's say, where they want to protect the image and what that property was. So they might not be willing to take certain swings or think outside the box because it was like, no, this is our money maker. Like we have to stick within this. Once it becomes public domain and you know other people get a hold of that, they might be thinking more outside the box and be able to try different things because now they don't have to worry about appeasing the owner or the creator or another company. So that's the positive of it. The negative of it is that, and we've already seen this with Winnie the Pooh, and it's looking like the same thing with Steamboat Willie slash Mickey, that I can see these properties just being taken for name value, but no uh, things being created with it that has no substance or value at all. They're just inserting this character, like the Tubi movie that you saw, just to get people to click on it. But honestly, they're not taking the lore, they're not taking the story, they're not building a different version of that character, they're just inserting them in. So, like with that new Mickey going through, you can literally, it's insert killer here and have some generic cheap slasher movie, but now you just threw in Mickey because people are going to be like, oh my God, and watch it. But honestly, it has no context to the character itself. I think that's one of the big negatives. We're going to see a ton of that. And when Maria talking about the oversaturation, we might have to sift through like 20 bad, terrible versions of it to find maybe one good one.
And I'm kind of willing to sit down and watch some of these bad projects.
Are you steamboat willing? You're steamboat willing?
I'm Steamboat willing. Give me a plate full of crap and like let's have fun with it.
We can add them to Marie's Tubi series.
Yeah, there you
Yes.
go.
I mean that's what we pretty much do with like especially horror movies anyways. We have to sift through all the crap. There's just way more crap than, It'd be cool if they did. I don't know the premise of what this horror Steamboat Willie movie is gonna be, but it'd be cool if he actually was like riding on a steamboat in like the bayou or something. He was like some sort of serial killer on a steamboat and you can like hear it coming and people are all like, I don't know. Like
Feeding
keep
people to
it
the
true to
gators.
him. Yes.
Chugga
Feed people to the
chugga,
gators.
you're about to get willied.
Sure. So that way when people are like running through like the forest, whatever the trees, you just hear the womp womp and you hear the steamboat in the
Yep.
distance. You got the fog rising from the waters.
Mickey's voice
That could be
echoing
good.
through the woods.
The laugh.
Oh god. His whistle, he whistles. Oh, that's creepy. He has
Yeah,
a little whistle.
Oh.
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
potential
see?
there. But the new
TM
trailer,
this. We gotta TM this.
yeah, it doesn't seem like that's the route they're going to using the elements of that character. They're just putting
Mm,
someone in that costume and saying like,
yeah.
"Hey, let's just take people out."
You know
Uh,
damn well we're gonna get a silhouette in the moon light and you see the ears. It's like, oh, the killer.
How do things become public domain in general? So usually it's when copyright expires or it's not renewed properly because with some copyrights you do have to renew it after a certain amount of time, or the copyright owner puts it themselves into public domain at all. Now, I think it was in 1998. There was the Copyright Term Extension Act, that passed, and that replaced the one from 1976, and it kind of changed the rules of something becoming public domain. And basically, the way it stands right now, at least the version of public copyright law that we're talking about, anything before 1978, uh, once it hits 95 years, it becomes public domain. That's what happened to Mickey. It was
Mm.
created, I think, was it 1920s or something like that? Maybe even earlier. So it hit 95 years on January 1st of this year. Anything after 1978, it's the duration of the creator's life plus 70 years on top of that. So they've made it longer overall. And then for any works, any anonymous works or works that use pseudonyms or works made to hire, it's 95 years from the first publication or 120 years from its creation.
That's kind of weird. Like when you really think about that, the fact that you can create something and then the government's telling you, well, other people can use it regardless. Like eventually you don't own it anymore. That's kind of BS. Like I created this. It's mine.
Mm.
It is, but it's gotten better. That what they instituted in '98
Yeah.
actually extended overall the time
Yeah.
frame, where now the creator's estate or family can still retain the rights at least for a little bit of the time.
I just thought like 120 years from now, there's just like three random people, like two guys and a girl that are doing Not a Strong Start podcast, just completely stole and did our riff. But then they probably are going to do it a lot better.
Yeah. We're gonna we're gonna fix everything that they did wrong.
Yeah, it's just like a way huge improvement. It's like, geez, these guys are amazing.
Except the
It's
only
gonna be
thing that they're going to keep the same is that they're going to be pantsless because we
Well,
just
you
know
have to.
that's how
Yeah.
the
yeah.
magic that's how the
Yeah.
magic had. Listen, future us, pants
Yes,
stay
please.
off.
Pants stay off.
I do find it kind of sad that it could ever be public domain in any way because people could be rolling in their grave thinking, I can't believe you're making him be a serial killer. No, he was innocent. That wasn't my vision. How could you do this? But then it's like, you did. You don't, who cares? Like, you're not going to know. Like,
Yeah.
but then, I don't know. It's like a bittersweet thing, I think, because I think that when people create things, it should be theirs. But then also, it's like the public maybe wants to embrace it, or maybe they want to, maybe they appreciate it so much they want to do something else with it. But then, still yours. It's like a it's both. This is all just like there's 50-50 pros and cons. It's really one of those things.
Yes. There's really nothing in this world that's absolute, and this is one of them that
I
it can go
know.
in either direction, and it's gonna be on a case by case basis overall. Like, are you gonna be um Winnie the Pooh, blood and honey, or are you gonna be better than that? So
True.
Hopefully.
I mean, the only things that are absolute is death, taxes, and herpes.
and who knows for how long those are gonna be absolute?
And what order do they come in?
Yeah, but I mean taxes probably forever.
Yeah, taxes is forever.
Yeah.
If anything's gonna be forever, it's taxes. We know that.
What being said, we actually over the next like 20 years or so, actually probably less less than the next like 20 years, we have a lot of major properties that are actually going to become public domain, which should make things interesting. I'm sure some of these properties, there's people just clamoring at the bits to try to create, their version of it. And then some other properties that who knows if anything is done with it. But I didn't want to just tell you what these properties are. So I thought we'd make a little guessing game out of it where I just give you a couple clues and you let me know who this character is. Let's start with the first one. All right. This is coming soon. We have this is a cartoon animal who can't speak, even though others of his kind speak perfect English.
Hmm.
They keep him in a collar and chain while the others walk around free.
Pluto?
That is correct. It is
Is
Oh,
it?
Pluto.
yeah.
Hey, nice.
Oh, do you know
Pluto.
the creepiest? Sorry, the creepiest thing about Pluto to me is that skinny tail for no reason. That
Like a
weird,
rat tail,
long,
huh?
black, pointy, skinny tail. Like make a horror movie just about that tail doing bad things.
Like, That's the
tail.
creepiest part to you. It's not the fact that they keep them chained and walk them, even though they're also dogs.
Yeah. No, it's the tail.
It's the tail.
It's
I
the
chain him
tail.
up too. He's a menace. You can tell he's a menace with that tail. The reason why they're chaining him up, we're gonna find out soon.
Imagine if he was like your dog staying at your feet and like laying underneath the blankets and all of a sudden just like his tail is underneath the thing and it just starts going around,
This
just
is Evil
wrapping
Dead.
around your throat.
It's just
Yeah.
Evil Dead. Like,
Very Evil
What?
Dead.
I can picture it already. As soon as this goes public domain, we're gonna see someone in a giant Pluto costume, just slashing people in some random town, and they're gonna be like, "It's a Pluto movie."
Everything's a horror. Just everything's horror.
That
Yes.
that's where it's gonna gravitate to.
Can we get
Maybe.
a somebody that's like dressed like Pluto but is like an astronaut and they're going to Pluto?
Yeah.
Well, Pluto doesn't
Yeah.
exist, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's gonna
Well,
make
It-
it exist. He's gonna put
yeah.
Pluto
yeah,
back on the map.
there you
That's,
go.
Pluto
yeah.
Pluto got fired on its day off. I can actually picture. So what if they take it? They take a movie, and you can make it animated. Let's do adult like animation
Mhm.
style. And it's a movie on Pluto finally having enough of this treatment that he's been getting by these other dogs who look down on him and treat him like an animal.
It's like the movie
And
Falling Down.
yeah, in this
He loses stuff one day.
this is his rampage. This is where
Yep.
Pluto goes on a rampage against all those other dogs who thought they were superior, speaking their English and walking on their two legs.
To be fair, Goofy is seems less intelligent than Pluto does. I mean, just because he can speak English doesn't mean he's any better than Pluto.
No, he's not. And that's why Pluto will get
No,
his revenge.
Yes,
I
but
I know.
but at least Goofy knows the perfect cast, as we've seen in Goofy movie, right? The perfect
Mm,
cast.
That is true. That is true. And that
mm.
is how him and his kind took over and dominated over the Plutos of their worlds. Was the perfect cast.
It's like
It's
an
best of-
old, yeah, like an old, like I see like a flashback where you see the two species just battling and fighting each other in the perfect cast right there in the battlefield.
That's their version of like the Pokeball.
Yes.
Like they capture them. This is dresses like a sailor, unlike us, does not believe in pants and is in love with a flower.
Mm,
As Donald Duck.
Yeah,
mhm.
Marie, you got it. Donald Duck in 2029, that will become public domain. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Okay, that's one that I could see where they kind of do like a what is it, Five Nights at Freddy or something like that. Like I could see like an animatronic version of him or a guy in a suit or something, and something goes haywire, and then just throw in Nicolas Cage. See that?
Nicolas Cage, can you do a Donald Duck voice? Please say you can. I believe he probably can pull it off. Come
I
on.
know, huh?
What if they do like a Voyage of the Demeter, but with Donald Duck instead? They're out at sea, and all of a sudden, this duck dressed as a sailor without pants just comes on board. And then
Or a Hunt for Red October where they got to turn the key together. Are you gonna blow it up? And you do something like that. Like you just do like a very instead of going horror, what if they just go like really dramatic? Like it's like a drama. And it's like Oscar nominated film with Donald Duck.
Donald, we need confirmation before we can fire. Can't understand what you're saying.
And he's there just ranting and raving, doing his thing.
Is that a go or a no? What is your directive?
And then like the camera's on him and he does like the dramatic turn and all that stuff. And it's like Donald Duck starring Leo DiCaprio. Directed by Martin Scorsese this summer.
He just wants to get home to his Daisy, but before he can.
Oh, I don't know. The thing about Donald Duck though is he has a temper. Like he has a temper. He's pretty sassy.
Mhm.
Every year on Christmas we watch like the Donald Duck, old Donald Duck cartoon where him and his nephews are duking it out with a snowball fight, and he
Mm,
shows no mercy to those children,
none.
like none.
They don't deserve it though.
And
You
little
got to raise
little
them
buggers,
right.
but I mean, he started it though. Donald Duck started it. They could easily. I know it's always like horror, but they could turn that into a horror, just like a Huey, Dewey, and Louie massacre. Oh, that's sad, but I mean, they're ducks, so who cares? Birds.
I'll tell you this much. If it was Donald Duck instead, Bugs Bunny would have been done a long time ago. He's not letting himself get messed around with like Daffy does all the time. This next one, um, we're getting away from cartoon animals. So this is not an animal. Uh, a foreigner who does not know how to properly wear their underwear and is allergic to rocks.
Oh, Superman.
Superman.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Kryptonite Rock. Okay, okay, I see it
Yep.
there. And he wears
Yeah.
his underpants over his pants. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I see.
So,
I see.
yeah, in 2033, Superman will become public domain. Now, this is a property that even not being public domain, I would say over the last maybe 15 years or so, give or take, there's been some very creative takes on this character. We've seen him turn evil multiple times. We've seen him change races. We've seen him, land in different countries, so he's like different ethnicity. We've seen so many different takes with this character already that I could just imagine once it goes public what the weird minds of humanity will do for this character.
You know what
What
we
do you
haven't
guys
gotten
think?
yet? We
What?
haven't gotten Superman battling colon cancer. So he's there talking to his doctor and he's telling him the rough news. He goes home. It's painful. You see him dealing like that with his family, Lois Lane. And it's just, you just get like a Hallmark made for television movie. Superman.
What if they do like a movie like The Whale, but it's Superman? He lost his powers and now his weight is out of control. And it's just him and Lois.
What would he be eating? Like hoagies? Something random. Meatballs. Loves
Something
Italian food.
random. He went from faster than a speeding bullet and being able to fly to barely leaving the couch.
Slower than a rolling boulder.
He still can't wear his underwear, right? So he's just
No.
You
they're
see him
like,
at
Oh
Target
my God.
buying his underwear, the fruit of the looms, and it's just like, because he can't figure it out.
"Where's your red ones?"
He leaves one of his red underwear in the washer, and like all of his clothes come out pink. Ah! Just him dealing with like regular living, like just normal stuff, going grocery shopping, things like that.
The side of Superman you've never seen.
Nor did you want to.
No. He's just man now. It's just man.
He's just mad now.
Man.
Yeah. The super. The super's like in quotes. Super
Yeah.
man.
Man. Super size man now, maybe.
All right, this next one, this is not a specific character. This is actually a big like property. This is actually a franchise, and it's a story. This story is about a long adventure that comes before a super long adventure, and sometimes you just have to put a ring on it.
Really, Lord of the Rings? That's gonna be oof.
Not,
Okay.
it's a story of the
The
long
Hobbit.
adventure that
The
comes
Hobbit.
before the
The
super
The
long
Hobbit.
Hobbit. The
adventure.
Hobbit.
Yeah. In 2033, The Hobbit will become public domain.
Thing with the Hobbit is like it's very particular. So like I don't
Yeah.
could see how you can really deviate too much. Like you have to put it in Middle Earth, right? Like you have to. Like you can't set it like modern time because then it wouldn't read that it's the Hobbit and all that stuff. Like it has to be.
Unless, and again, I'm trying to think like crazies, just like way outside the box. It started in that time frame, but they find maybe another ring. There's a second ring that in this ring, when they put it on, instead of turning invisible, it actually sends you to another time.
Mm.
So then now you've got the hobbits misplaced, and you have a fish out of water story with the hobbits in the year 2020.
I love it. And then on the soundtrack is the Beyonce. Should have put a ring on it. No,
Yeah.
no, 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 put a ring on it.
The hobbits like, oh, 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 oh.
know, it's just like all campy, like straight, like almost
Oh,
like the Barbie, or it's like a
it's gonna be a
fad. Like
musical. This will be a
it's a
musical moment.
ooh,
Hobbit, the
yes,
musical,
the
turning everything to a
music.
musical now.
I love it. I'd watch
Just
it.
traversing New York City.
Try to get the people, but then they have to like believe in like they have to believe to get the magic of the ring going, almost like they have to believe in Santa Claus,
Yeah.
something like that. And they do that in musical dance.
There's wiggle room there. There's some wiggle room.
There's a little bit of Steamboat Willie in there. A
Yeah,
little bit of
yeah.
Steamboat Willie.
See, we can go the sci-fi way.
Yeah, I
Okay.
like that.
This next one coming the year after, also another. It's a character, but it's become like a franchise in a way. So this character is very picky about his drinks, and he's not just another number. Don't expect a normal answer if you ask him his name.
Bond. James Bond.
Yes.
Yes.
On that one. James Bond 2034 becomes public domain.
Ooh.
This one I feel is very significant. And you guys correct me if you feel differently, because James Bond is a property that's been going on for so long. It's a constant reboot. You get it, get a few movies, reboot with another actor, do a few movies, and we're about to hit that again. We're about to do the reboot. So here's the thing though. So when it becomes public domain, they'll still be able to do a reboot, but anyone can do a James Bond movie. So is the value still going to be there for the studio? But now any studio can do a James Bond movie also. So
Ooh.
what
That's
we've been seeing
interesting.
with the James Bond with the studios making the movies, rebooting, making the movie, and it's a gold mine. It's going to always make money. Some of these going public domain is going to affect the bottom dollar of some of these
Mm.
production companies who own these properties. So I think that's something we got to think about how this is going to affect the movie industry as a whole, especially with big properties like James Bond that have been so long going.
That's a great point because I didn't even really think about that because now you open it up for everybody. Like you could see A24 doing a type of James Bond movie that's a little different. Like that'd be cool to see. But what I was thinking, what would be pretty cool, not really cool, if they had James Bond, but it's like Home for the Holidays because it's like a holiday movie because he's always out. He's been out for years. But when you see him coming back to his family, they haven't seen him in like, what have you been up to? He can't sit there and just tell them, Marie, like it's confidential information. Like, you can't just be all willy-nilly and be telling them about this crazy last adventure that he was on. Like, what I mean? He's got to make it up. So we get to see the funny, obstacles of him creating this false life that he was living.
They
I
can do a
think he's a
whole like series of that. They can do a whole like where every he's coming home for Christmas, now he's coming for Thanksgiving, and now it's like whatever, it's anniversary. Now someone he's at a funeral and he has a what were you
MLK
doing?
Day.
Oh, now what's he gonna say? What's he what's
it's
he gonna say now?
it turns into like those Ernest movies or like the Medea movies where it's just James Bond in a different
Yeah.
situation. All right, question for you, Marie. If let's say when he returns back, his family is not aware of what he does, what do they think his profession is
Mm.
when he's gone?
I think traveling circus. And he's like a ringmaster or some sort. So he has suits. He needs suits. He's the ringmaster. He needs to
No,
kind of like stay in shape a little bit to like I don't know what the ringmasters do, but I don't know. I think what antics could he say come up with? Be like I'm part of a traveling circus.
He
What's a
has to
good angle?
always
What do
keep
you
a
think?
whip in his car just for his cover. So when he gets home,
Yep.
like, oh, here's the whip.
For his
like he's
cover, he
Indiana
can use
Jones.
that. Yeah, he can use it.
Yeah. I was gonna
Okay.
say he was like a llama specialist, so almost like a veterinarian, but specifically for llamas. So he gets flown around the world having to do that for like the rich people that own llamas.
Feel with both of those, it's so weird and out there that they probably won't question and be like, that's too weird to make up. So it's
Yeah,
got to be true. Like if
he's
they
Yeah.
just
literally a
be like,
llama specialist.
oh, I'm in acquisition, so I'm a traveling salesman, and be like, yeah,
Yeah,
okay. But it was like, I'm a traveling circus, be like, all right, no one's making that up. That's too ridiculous.
No.
yeah. It's like, what is this? And they find hair on his jacket. And it's like, oh, it's lion fur. Huh, makes sense.
Honey, why is there blood splatter all over the arm of your suit jacket here? Oh, an elephant was giving birth and I had to go in and it was live, so I had to do it and everyone cheered. It was great. It's
Ew.
elephant afterbirth, sweetheart. Elephant
Ew.
afterbirth, not brains.
Ew. You even did the arm motion. You had to. Ew. 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 My feet are going like this underneath the table.
So this next one. This character is not a fan of movie theaters, especially at least around movie theaters. He'll go to the circus, but he doesn't like clowns.
Batman.
It is Batman.
Yep. I
It
knew
is
the
Batman.
alleyway. The alleyway, like especially alleyway, was like Batman.
Yeah. This is another huge one. Just think of the following and the fan base of Batman. Here we got Batman thing right here. And if anyone can do whatever they want with Batman at all, like we're gonna be seeing some weird Batmans out there.
We kind of do already. You know what I'm saying? You see like a lot of like Batman skits and things like that. You see them all the time in like comedy skits. I wonder like what else could you really do with them that probably hasn't been done yet outside
A
of horror.
rom-com, a Batman rom-com.
There you go,
Well,
right?
I don't know. There's a lot of there's romance in the Batman movies. There's some
Catwoman.
romance, a little bit of
Huh?
comedy. Yeah, there's some stuff like, but a straight up rom com.
Right up rom-com.
Yeah.
You know, when Bruce met Selena. The next one, this character grows up fast, but never fully loses his youthful energy. Likes to scream his own name to feel powerful.
Shazam.
Shazam. Yes, it
Oh.
is Shazam.
Shazam.
So Shazam also that same year will be going to public domain. Um, I feel with this one, it's not really one of the major characters. It's not like a Batman or like a Superman character. But I feel you could do some stuff with like a kid who turns into this powerful being. In other words, like we got what was that what was that movie that was done by James Gunn with the kid who is pretty
Oh,
much the it's supposed to be like Superman that he went evil.
Burn bright
bright,
bright
Brightburn.
yeah,
Brightburn.
Brightburn. There you go.
Yeah, Brightburn. So you can kind of go in that direction where, he ends up just going corrupt or anything like that. But I feel like that would be a very stereotypical way with it. Like what's a way you can get creative with it in a way that isn't normal?
The kid's got Tourette's. And he can't stop himself from saying the word. So it keeps happening at the most the worst time.
Instead of cursing or doing anything like that,
Just
it's
Shazam.
just saying Shazam
It's just
the
saying
most random times.
Shazam. Yeah. Shazam. Ah! Happens right there in the middle of class.
There's just holes in his car and house from all the lightning that keeps striking.
It blows out like he's watching television and blows up his TV, video game console.
Yeah, he has to stay single. It's just
I
like
mean,
as
yeah.
soon as he gets excited, Shazam! I've got another one.
It's just like all this blood splatters. Like, oh my God. That's so
Oh,
brutal. Jesus.
okay. This is getting me on board. I want this to happen.
She's like, all right, I'm in.
I mean, that one did it
No,
for me.
you know why I pulled you over? Shazam!
Shazam. They're like, oh no, you accidentally said it. Oh no, that was on purpose.
Just to say, yeah, I have Tourette's. That's all it is.
Like he's gonna
I
have to drive
swear.
everywhere. Can't trust him on the
Yeah.
plane. He's gonna have to be on the ban list. It's the middle of
Yeah.
the flight.
He's works like at an office
Oh,
job. And they're like, oh, we brought you in because we have to talk about your performance. Shazam! Killed your boss. There we go. That's what I thought. Now I
Well,
got the rest of the day off.
it gets him a promotion because now he has to replace the boss that he took out.
There you go.
yes. This could be a very like heartwarming movie, but also could be very, very sad movie. This actually at first I'm like, and then you guys are talking about it, I'm like, wow, actually the opportunities are endless here. And Daniel at the beginning of the episode when you said what was the favorite joke that I've ever made in an episode, when you just said the Tourette's thing, I was just like, that was just like
So what?
that was
There you
that was
go.
that was maybe it. Not just because of the context.
What's funny is that
Because of Tourette's.
when I said it, you turned to the side, and I thought, did I go too far? Like,
No, I
did
was
I
like, this is the
overstep?
most brilliant thing that Daniel has ever said. How did he think of this so quickly? What? That's why I was like,
And what's
Daniel.
as soon as Jose said it, I got a smirk on my face, and I was like, "Ooh, this is a good one."
There's potential there. Like you
Like
can
it.
even go a little serious with it, where it's like a journey of him trying to deal with this, and his life has fallen apart because
Because
of
he
it.
can't control it.
So he's no hero or anything. He's been ostracized by society
Yeah.
because of it, and it's just him dealing with that. Like, okay.
And you figure people see when the lightning comes, so it's like they
Oh,
know where he's at. It's almost like a tracking system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
So you can
So I'm
he has to.
saying it could be sad and it also could be a comedy. Also, he can use it for good. Oh man, this yeah.
This is actually our best one yet.
Yeah.
I'm actually digging this.
Really good.
Between this and James Bond Halloween, like I feel like we're like
James Bond Halloween, taking his nieces and
Yeah.
nephews out to go trick or treating.
I don't know, but the Leo Donald Duck also was way up there too. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
The
There's
Hunt
oh
for Red
there's
yeah.
good ideas
October,
floating.
directed by
Yeah, there's some
Scorsese.
good yeah, good ideas floating
Uh,
around.
all right, with the next one, this is another hero. This is in 2035. This is going to become public domain. This character is not really good with time. They're very fast, but somehow always late. They also the very fast part. That's the big clue here.
It's
They
not the
also
Flash.
The
it is the
Flash?
Flash. It is the Flash
Oh, hey.
in there. Now here, I feel you've got potential. I mean, he can do time travel. He's super fast. But how can we fit this into a non-superhero genre? What about if we just simplify, forget about the physical aspects, because part of him being fast is he also thinks fast. So
Food competition,
what about like
eating.
a chess competition? It's just
Ooh,
him uh going through a chess competition, trying to defeat all of the world's best chess players, with the AI chess player being the last one, the final boss that you have there. Be
gotta be a
kind of like
robot.
that arm wrestling uh movie from Stallone, but with chess.
Over the top.
Mm.
Over the
And
top.
he's got to do it to win the custody of his son, the Flash.
Yeah.
There it is.
And his son is Shazam. Uh,
There you go.
Oh my God.
Over a chess game,
Oh, that
and he
make him
loses against the robot. So the robot actually wins custody of his son at the end of the movie. Very sad. And then it just
yeah.
becomes a court drama.
yeah, I can't wait to see how it gets to that point. That's the me, I'm like, how does a robot get custody? And how is he fighting a chess match of all things?
And
And
then
then
it's
in
like a
court, how do you
robot. It's like the
yeah.
little like the what is the little Roomba whatever. That's where it is like in the house, and it's telling the son like go clean up your room again. Like a robot, and
You're not my real dad. You're not my
yeah.
real dad.
You see it go into the kitchen with the wife, and like they're having wine together, and the wife's just like, "Ah, I know. He's just like, I can't do this anymore, Sharon." Like you just see a robot talking. It's like, why is he emotionally distraught?
I'd be
Maybe it's
emotionally distraught if I was vacuuming all day too.
Yeah.
I need to
yeah.
come out. Jeez, look at yourself.
Maybe we could cross it over. Maybe he's in a world with like a Skynet has already taken over, and that's
Mm,
why he has to face the robot to get custody back.
there you go. But the boy is like one of the last few like human kids right? So it's like you just lost like the future of
Ooh.
mankind to robots. That's a
Yeah.
Okay.
sci-fi.
The
That sounds
AI
good, but I'm
is
like, how does the Flash come into this though? Why is it it's more a
Oh
Roomba
yeah,
story?
I forgot about the Flash. It was just the first half of the movie. Well, now he's trying to win the
well
son
because
back, is what it is.
he's the only one because he thinks so fast and he computes so quick that even has a chance to go up against an AI that
Hmm.
Hmm.
overmatches human brain power.
Correct. Although he still loses, he's our best chance at trying to stop them, but he still
Exactly.
loses.
Yeah. But then he has to go. He actually goes back in time uh to face the AI again. And then
Hmm.
everyone's like, why don't you just go back in time before the AI got created? And he's like,
And
oh,
And
I
unplug it.
then
didn't think about that.
But then he
Uh,
says, "I can't because the intellectual property. I can't go back to that to that time. You know what I mean? It's not public domain yet. I can't go
yeah,
back to that time
yeah.
period."
I wasn't public domain.
No, yeah.
I
There it is.
can
There we
that
go.
was the best thing.
Nailed it.
That was the
There
best.
you go.
That was the
And
best
we
Daniel
stuck
joke
our
right there.
landing. See, it's not a strong
Nailed
start,
it.
but we damn well we catch that ending. Steamboat Willie.
All right, we got we got two left. The next
Okay.
one.
Oh,
He lives under the sea, but he is not a sponge. Can talk to fish without being judged. Well, he might still be judged.
Aquaman, but like, right?
Yes.
But too
Yep.
much is done already. Just leave Aquaman alone. Just keep him in the domain, not for the public. Just leave him be. Like, no, we don't. I don't want any more Aquaman under any circumstance.
I don't need to see
Leave
it,
it
but
be.
like what would happen is that like you know how like rich people have like those like auctions. So he just gets auctioned off and he's just living in some rich guy's aquarium. They just feed him peanut butter and jelly
Oh my god,
sandwiches.
it gets so soggy, Daniel. Ew.
I
It's the
know.
worst food to put in a
But
tank.
Uncrustables though, so that way they're halfway frozen.
Yeah, but it's gonna clog the filter, Daniel. Jeez, it's gonna disintegrate that bread. Jeez.
And they're not good at cleaning out the aquarium, so it gets dirty a lot. It's swimming in his own poop.
Sorry,
So much poop juice. Uh,
all these strings of poop everywhere.
it's just watching them while they're with the net trying to scoop it up.
It reminds me of what was it, Deuce Bigelow? Remember that? Where like the rich guy and he breaks the aquarium tank, and then he has to be a gigolo in order to buy the new aquarium tank.
Dan, please stop tapping on the glass. He doesn't like that.
Toot, toot, toot. And he's just staring, just mean mugging me behind the glass. I think he likes it. I'm gonna disagree with you, Jose. I think he likes it.
I was a king once.
And he's there just flipping me off. I think he likes it. I'm gonna disagree. I
And the
was the
only reason
king
he got
once.
in that position is because he got uh, overthrown. Atlantis didn't like what he was doing as king, and he got overthrown. And there was a council where all the fishes and animals met together in some courtroom drama and decided to
Little Mermaid.
dispose
Remember
of
the
him.
beginning when they
Yeah,
all get together?
And they
yeah.
sold him to the humans.
Even the blowfish are like, he's full of hot air.
Gloria's like, I don't remember much, but I remember he was not a good king.
I mean, they could do lots of crossovers though. They could do a crossover Nemo. They can do a crossover like romance with like Ariel and him, and she's like, I want to go back to the ocean. Screw this human life. There's Aquaman, and then go.
Yeah.
They could do that. I like the trapped in a aquarium in a rich man's place, string
Yeah.
poop and peanut butter jam, and Daniel's sound effect for banging on the glass was toot toot
It's a different glass. It's future
toot.
glass. It makes a different
Future
sound.
glass. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, wait a sec. I just thought of something. What if
So,
uh the world is coming to an end and humanity has to now relocate it and we've built the ships. We have to relocate it. We found another planet. And because the planet's about to destroy it. So Aquaman and of course and everyone from Atlantis comes along and they come to a new planet but there's only a small pond on a new planet. That's all the water source. So now he must live in this tiny little pond
Big fish
over
in a
there.
small pond. There's a tagline.
Yeah, I like it. Sold on the poster. All right, last one we have here. A half goddess that's all about the truth. Good luck winning over her family and childhood friends if you're a man.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. She will become public domain in, I believe, 2036. In there. So, what can we do with this one?
Mhm. Lots of
What
things
can
will
we
be
do?
lots of things will be done to that one. Lots of things will be done to that
Oh,
one. Let's just put it. I
yes.
can just see it's not going to be what we think it's going to be, you guys. It's going to be much much worse. Oh
How Wonder
God.
Woman
We'll
got her
just
groove back?
yeah. 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 That would be good.
She
He's
gets
going to leave that movie
she's feeling low
massively.
about herself as she's aging, so she gets like plastic surgery done, but like it's like botched plastic surgery where it's like, ugh, like you look way bad. And then she goes to like her high school reunion and people are like very unrecognizable, and it's just like a very bad experience for her.
How to lose an
Yeah.
Amazonian in 10 days?
Thank you for watching another episode of Not a Strong Start. Like, subscribe, comment, share on the YouTube channel, Not a Strong Start. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to your podcast. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X at Not a Strong Start. I'm your host, Danny the Pooh. You can follow me at King_Sangre.
I'm not your host. You get a property. You get a property. You get a property. And you can find me at This Is Mi Nombre on Instagram.
And I'm ooh Mickey, you're so fine. And I'm and you can find me at every place at all on Instagram. And I don't know where that was going. Excited for Shazam! I'm so excited for Shazam.
And
Shazam!
I am not public domain.
No,
Not yet, you're not. It's got to wait 75 years
nope.
after your death.
No one's gonna want me then.
No one's going to want me.
They reanimate us afterwards. You're public domain now.
Oh, and then they get
It's,
AI
it's,
voices.
it's been 70 years after your mother passed away. She's the creator.
I know.
You're
You just
mine now.
they just do that, and then they take our voices where they can like splice them and like just AI our voices. And we're like, that was our best episode. That was pretty good, guys. Hey.
That one had a strong start and a strong end.